Minister, don't fall for that trap. I didn't want to speak on this thing of administration because my focus will be on the CEOs. But because Honorable Khabo raised it, there's an interesting point that I want to double check here, Minister. Who consulted with the National Skills Authority on the 7th of August regarding placing the 3 SETAs under administration?
What do you mean who? I consulted with the Skills Authority.
And the reason I'm asking you that, Minister, is because when we asked the National Skills Authority to send us the minutes and the agenda of the meeting of the 7th of August, your name doesn't appear on the agenda.
Okay, so what's the point?
So you were present in that meeting?
No, I was not present in that meeting.
So I don't understand, because you consulted with them. When did you consult with them?
I wrote to the National Skills Authority indicating my intention to place 3 SETAs under administration, and the National Skills Authority wrote back to me with their advice as it relates to those 3 SETAs. So consultation doesn't mean that I have to call a meeting, sit down with them, and then say, okay, so this is what I want to do. What do you think? So consultation means that I've solicited their views, which is in this case what I did was to write to them and say to them, this is what I'm looking for.
You wrote to them on the 7th of August?
I don't have the details. I'll have to check the specific details when I wrote to them and all of those things.
So you've never set a meeting with the National Skills Authority as Minister?
No.
Okay, whilst I move to the other points,
so I had a meeting with the chair and the chief executive officer of the NSA on more than one occasion. Yeah.
So consultation for you is writing a letter and then receiving a response to the letter. It's not sitting an official meeting with the National Skills Authority or the SETA, and then you tell them of the reports. The Minister of Finance has given you these reports, then you have a formal meeting with the National Skills Authority. You don't consider that to be consultation. According to you, consultation is you send for example, if we wanted to consult the Minister, we'll send an email to you, you respond to us, and we consider that to have been consultation.
Well, I mean, as they say, some meetings can actually be correspondence. I think that what I'm required to do is not the form the consultation should take, but is that I have actually satisfied the requirements of the law.
Okay, when I move on, Minister, can you ask your team, which I believe is here, to please try and get the letter for us that you claim you sent to the NSA as part of the consultation, so that we can get the date.
We can check that.
Yeah. Now, I'll come back to this point. What is your understanding of a transparent process, Minister?
Transparent process?
Yeah.
I don't understand. That's
let's say you want to appoint someone, or maybe let's bring it closer to home. Let's say you want to appoint a CEO, and for you to appoint a CEO of a CEO of any entity. Okay, it's fine. Let's bring it to the SETAs. Yeah. Let's say you want to appoint a CEO of the SETAs.
Yes.
What is your understanding of following a transparent process in that process of appointing?
I don't know if I'm required to. I think the Act stipulates the processes I should follow, and I followed those processes.
No, I'm not. Sorry to interject, Minister.
I don't know how transparency applies here.
I'm not disrespecting your apologies, Minister.
Yeah.
It's just that we've got limited time, so I want us to be interactive. I'm not asking you about what you did. We're still coming there. I'm saying you are, as a minister, you are given a task to appoint a CEO. And in appointing the CEO, you are required, you want to follow a transparent process. Just quickly, what is your understanding about following a transparent process in appointing a CEO?
Honorable Lonzi, unfortunately, I'll have to be specific because, firstly, I'm not required by law to be transparent in the context within which you raise. That's why.
No, I'm not asking.
So
what
I don't know
what's the
you know what.
I'm just asking you, Minister, if what is the definition of a transparent process? Like I'm still coming to the requirement. I'm still coming there. I'm saying you as a minister, the people of South Africa are saying, okay, maybe let's move away. Appoint a CEO of NSFAS. And in appointing the CEO of NSFAS, please follow a transparent process. What is your understanding as minister of the definition of following a transparent process?
Well, the definition is that I must follow what's in the law. That's as far as I'm concerned. What are the step-by-step stipulations in the law? And if I follow what's in the law, I deem to have satisfied its requirements. And I have not been asked before to comply to transparency. I don't know what it means in terms of the appointment of someone.
Minister, I'll come to your legal, because I think you are trying to play with words here. Because it's a very simple question. What is a transparent process? Like I don't think it's something that needs you to go, around. But I'll come back to you, Minister. I'll come back to you on this point. Legal of the head. What is your understanding of a transparent process?
Thank you, Mr. Lonzi, for your question. I think without being legalistic in giving you a definition, a transparent process would be a process that is acceptable, that is rational, that is reasonable, that is lawful. And
thank you, legal. That's all I wanted from the minister. It can't be that the minister can't tell me what his understanding of a transparent process is rational, it's reasonable, it's lawful, it's logical, the things that you're saying. Now, Minister, when did you send the letter to the accounting authorities to recommend to you the appointment of CEOs for an additional term of 5 years? Which date did you send them that letter?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
When did you send the letter to the accounting authorities? Maybe let me start it a bit, David. When did you appoint the accounting authorities?
Well, they were appointed on different periods, but most of them on the last week building up to the 30th of September.
Building up to the 30th of September. When did you send the letter to the AAs instructing them to recommend CEOs to you for an appointment of additional term of 5 years, or acting CEOs?
I think around the 28th of September. I'm subjected to correction.
I'll tell you, Minister, you sent them that letter on the 29th of September.
Okay, yeah.
And then in your letter, Minister, you say to them, go and sit an urgent meeting. You have got staff members here that must take out the letter so that you are fully aware. There are people who are sitting here who don't know what they're doing. You said, on the 29th of September, go and sit an urgent meeting and then recommend to me appointments of a CEO for an additional term of 5 years. Mind you, these are accounting authorities which have just entered office. Yes, there may be some of them are repeating, but they've just entered office. You are saying to them, in less than 24 hours, please give me a name of a CEO.
Yes.
That's what you said to them.
Yes.
Now let's go to the Act, Minister. The one, so you and legal, you rely on Section 8. Section 8 says, a chief executive officer may be recommended by the respective SETA in terms of sub-regulation 6 for appointment by the minister for a further term subject to satisfactory performance. We're still coming to satisfactory performance. Subsection 6 then reads, the accounting authority must make a recommendation to the minister within 6 months of taking office after following a transparent process. Recommend in writing 3 qualified, experienced, and suitable candidates with knowledge in accounting, finance, senior management, matters of appointment, blah, 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 of the CEO to the minister. Now, the section that you are relying on with your legal says, it's fine, if you want to reappoint someone for an additional term of 5 years, you may very well do that as a minister. But you must do it in line with sub-regulation 6. What does sub-regulation 6 say? You must follow a transparent process. Now, let me ask you, Minister, what transparent process would those boards have followed in less than 24 hours?
The So when I started, I indicated that we appointed the accounting authorities under completely different conditions, which were not under of any of our choosing. And just as I faced the pressure to make sure that the accounting authorities are appointed on the 30th, by the 30th of September, they also had the responsibility to make sure that they, on
and
that,
And I know, Minister, last time we had this problem. I hope you don't feel like I'm disrespecting you. I'm
no,
only
it's
doing
not
this for
disrespect.
pressure. Yeah.
It's not disrespect.
I
but
don't
think
want
it's
you to give me
important
that context.
I'm allowed to respond.
Because you've already given us that
Yeah,
context.
yeah.
I mean, it was
but-
in your
yeah.
presentation.
So
My question is, the Act is saying you must, even if you want to recommend CEOs to be CEOs for an additional term of 5 years, you must follow a transparent process. I asked you, can you define to me what's a transparent process? You went to town, you didn't give me a definition. I then went to legal. Legal says it must be reasonable, it must be rational, it must be logical, and all of that. Then I say, how do you send a letter to a board that has just entered, by the way, to make an appointment of a CEO for an additional term of 5 years, and this name must be submitted to you in less than 24 hours? Which process could that board have followed that is transparent?
So, Honorable Lonzi, there has to be a distinction between two processes. The first one being, who do we recommend for reappointment, or rather not even reappointment. I think the Act and Regulation speaks for further appointment, which is the incumbent CEO. And what the accounting authorities is required to do is to make an assessment of the performance of that particular CEO, and on the basis of that, make a recommendation.
One meeting, Minister.
I believe that the accounting authorities were given reasonable time to be able
24
to do
hours.
so, and that if they were unable to do so, they would have indicated that they are not in a position to do so.
Let me come to you, legal. Since you, legal of the department, you gave me a definition of a transparent process. Which transparent process could these boards have followed in less than 24 hours? New boards that have just entered. Did they sit an 8-hour meeting where they went through all the reports of the SITA? What transparent process could they have followed?
Honorable Lonzi, in this context, I would imagine that transparency would depend on the diligence of the AA in doing their work. If they want to go through all the reports within or overnight and working like we are doing right now and be there for the whole day, then obviously the transparency would have applied because they would have gone through all the processes that they need to go through them. There are no time frames that would have applied in the circumstances, because I would imagine that each case has got to be treated according to the facts of the case. Thank you.
Askisa Honorable Lonzi, so I think this is linked to the submission I made earlier. So I'll tell you what happened. Two things happened, Minister. You are correct in your assessment that Dr. Nkabane had left you with a mess and you had to catch up because time was expiring. And that was not a circumstance.
I have said no such things.
And because
I think
time
you
was
need
not
to
on your-
indicate if you are saying that and
I am
without
saying
putting
that
it
for
in my
sure.
mouth. Thank you.
But
Sure.
you are saying the circumstance was not of your choosing. So I agree, it was not. And you knew very well that come 30 September, the employment of these CEOs would have lapsed, that they would have ceased to become CEOs. And it is on the basis of that, that under the pressure which you identify yourself, that you quickly had to appoint the boards and then give them 24 hours to reconfigure themselves and give you the recommendations of CEOs. But you also knew that even if their recommendations came on the 30th, that you wouldn't have concluded the appointment process yourself to align with the expiry of the 30th of September, because you would have only received the recommendations of the 30th of September. That is number one.
You are deviating from the question. I thought you are following up on his question.
No, the question is on the process, on the diligence. So I'm there about the reason why. So I'm there, Chairperson. I agree. Honorable Lonzi is speaking about there's no way in 24 hours there would have been a due diligence that was followed. And so the point I'm making here is an expansion on why there was a risk of that due diligence not being followed. Number two, the reason why you wrote, Minister, to these accounting authorities to ask them to give you the recommendation of an extension of 5 years is because you knew that they couldn't have given effect to subsection 6 of subsection 6 of the regulations, which say that they would have gone through a recruitment process or a transparent process before the deadline of the 30th. Is my understanding correct?
No.
Yeah.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, maybe before. Okay.
I didn't know any of those things. And I think what we're disregarding here, Chairperson, is that all the SETAs made recommendations and varying recommendations. Not all the SETAs recommended an appointment of the incumbent CEO. So that's yes. And secondly, that so from the 25th of August on or about, we open up the nominations for a further, I think, 7 or 15 days for accounting authorities. We start considering all of this towards the middle of August, and we work throughout August into the 12th of September, where we inform all the SETAs that these are the accounting authorities that they need to consider for appointment. And throughout that process, an MIE process takes place, which gets concluded around the 27th, 28th of September. We inform this, the accounting authorities that if they don't recommend to us as to who's I didn't say to them, extend people. I said to them, this is what I'm looking for. Either an appointment of a substantive appointment of a CEO, or for you to recommend an acting CEO from 3 names, and then start the exhaustive process that Honorable Lonzi is talking about. So the transparent and exhaustive process is the one that the accounting authorities are required to follow once they do not further appoint the incumbent CEO, which is
That's
what
not
the
true,
9
Minister.
CEOs,
That's not
which
true.
is what the which is what the 9 SETAs are doing. Those who did not have acting CEOs in place. I don't know if whether true or false is the right word, but that's my interpretation of the implementation of that law, or application of that law.
Okay. Dr. Mabusa.
Thanks very much, Honorable Chair, for the opportunity. My point is simply that Sub-Regulation 8 is kind of conflated with 2 processes. And I actually indicated this before. I agree with Honorable Lonzi to say that relates to issues of transparency, issues of consultants and so forth. But then here you are dealing with 2 processes, which you must view them in context. As soon as you remove context, then that creates a problem. Now, when you appoint a new CEO, Section 8 applies in a broader context because you are dealing with a huge quantity, which will take you days to finish it. In this particular process, in terms of the Gazette, we are dealing with one person. And how long does it take to interview one person? 30 minutes, 1 hour. And therefore, to speak of a process that should take days, you can give even the AAs, the AAs. You can give even the AAs hours for them to complete that person on one person, as long as they have aligned themselves with Regulation 8. That's all that is needed.
Dr. Mabusela, do you know what the minister wrote to the AAs?
I was briefed on that, Chair, when I came on board.
What was written? What was an instruction?
You have explained that, Chair, to say, actually, I wanted to
No, I've
come
not
in
explained.
there, but let me
I'm
answer.
asking you,
Yes.
what was contained in the instruction from the
It's a
minister?
supplementary instruction.
What
that
does
does
it
not
say?
create a new provision.
No problem.
Instead, it clarifies what
no.
needs to be done.
No, that's a second letter. I'm asking
Yes.
about the first letter, the instruction that you are making the subsection 8 reference to. So you should know. You can't say you don't know what was the context. Because you are saying to us, these boards were dealing with one person. It takes an hour, 30 minutes to interview a person. That's why I'm asking you, what was contained in the letter?
No, I think, Chair, you were not on the same page.
Okay, let's
Let me just explain myself.
no, answer me. Do you know what the letter of the minister said first?
Yes, the
What-
letter
what
of the minister was saying, appoint, in fact, not appoint in this case, but extend CEOs that are already there.
No, but was that what the minister said? Extend,
Yes, the letter.
extend the CEOs that are there.
Further appointment.
No, the letter of the minister says.
Further appointment.
No, isn't that Mabuzela? This is not the first time. No, this is not the first time. I'm doing this intentional. Because I've told you before. If you don't know something, don't enter things where you don't know. Because the explanation you have just given is not assisting the process. No, subsection 8, subregulation 8, It doesn't, we must just agree. Because you don't
with
know.
due respect.
No, you don't know what the letter of the minister says. So you can't tell us about subregulation 8 and then you want to tell us that it takes an hour to finish interviewing or 30 minutes one person. There was no interview in the instruction of the minister. That's why I'm asking you if you know what is contained in the instruction letter of the minister.
Chair, the instruction of the minister was simply saying the AAs must perform their primary function. And the primary function was to ensure that there is a CEO there in those SETAs. I'm saying this because
Hold on.
the skills branch has interest in this matter.
Hold on. And those AAs, if that's what the minister wrote, those AAs said, and both the minister and Advocate Kuta said, the minister had to rewrite to them. If that's what you are saying, that was the letter of the minister, then you are saying they are misleading us.
No.
Because you are not listening to me. You are saying the letter said, go and make sure we've got accounting of officers. That is what those people did. But the minister then wrote back. It was just explained now. Wrote back to say, you did not understand the spirit of my letter or the content of my letter.
Precisely, Chair. That's what I'm saying.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
Hence, I'm saying what Honorable Lonzi is saying by invoking the issue of transparency. he is using that provision
What
in a
provision?
context that explains as though we are dealing with a huge number of applicants.
No.
Whereas this process is simply saying, for further appointment, there's only one person whom you consider there.
But
You
I'm
don't
telling you-
consider 30 people and a really
That the
affliction
Mabusela,
of time
now
there.
you are wasting our time. Honestly speaking, you are now wasting our time. Because the minister just corrected that. That is not what he said. You are, Kuru, you want us, you want to test us on something that is really unnecessary. Unnecessary.
Suppression, Chair.
You are, Ndadama Busela, you are wasting our time. You want to mislead us here. You don't know the contents of the letter. You don't know it. There's an instruction of what the minister says. And I've asked you, I don't know, many times. And the reason I was asking you is because this is not the first time I say to you, you are not part of this process. You know, to say I don't know, because you are not part of the process, it's a very noble thing to do.
But Chair, in spite of whatever, I'm the acting DDG
Okay.
for skills.
So you know.
range. And therefore, these things are within my purview.
Yes.
And the fact of the matter is that, Chair, if I may be given privilege, in
to do
terms
what?
of the South African law,
Yeah.
we are equal in front of the law.
Yes.
We are all equal.
And if you lie here,
I'm not
in
lying.
front, no, you are. In
I'm
front
just-
of this law, we must then use section 17, subsection 2, because we are equal before this law.
Chair, that's not
Those
fair.
who purge
That's not fair.
in parliament, lie in parliament.
That's not fair.
No, what is not fair?
That's not fair. That's not fair, really.
Chair, I just wanted to assist so that maybe the minister can assist us. Maybe this time the minister will be decisive.
No,
To read this point that he's saying the minister said, which was, because we can't dilly-dally around this matter.
no, we'll deviate. Dadima Busela was just speaking something he doesn't know.
I don't agree, Chair.
The minister must help
You
us.
just okay. All right. Thank you, Chairperson. So the 6 months window that Honourable Lonzi is
Sure, I would be honest.